So, does inner child also plays important role in spiritual parenting, and how is it related with it?
I think you've asked the most important question, because the most important connection to be able to connect to the child outside is for us to be able to connect to the child within. We have also not been parented in the most aware way, right?
Aware. Hmm.
All of our parents have been victims of victims. So typically the way that the parenting has happened till date is that whatever our parents did, either we will do exactly the same thing, or if we were extremely unhappy with that, we will try to do exactly the opposite, right? But because as kids, are carrying whatever happened very early in our childhood, we are carrying that in our unconscious, which is 95%. So what happens is that when we are being with our children, we tend to the actions and the words tend to, in moments of stress, come out of that unconscious element, right? And because of that, a lot of the mistakes happen, a lot of things that we say that we probably later regret. So healing the inner child, meeting our own inner child, nurturing our own inner child is one of the most important things. So, like I mentioned, that probably a lot of us may be carrying a lot of wounds from our inner child. Okay, I can share an example. There's a person whose father used to behave, who used to be very violent. And at one point in time, he kind of left the house and went away. Now, this child, when he grew up and he got married, he said, I will never be like my father. Okay, now where does this come from? This comes from that wounded inner child, right? That child who is so wounded back then, whose needs were not met with, who's seeing the father behave a particular way. Now, with all his beautiful intentions, he's, read a lot of books. He knows the right ways to be. But when he's being with his child, when he came to me, he said that, in anger, in moments of stress, I exactly behave like my father. It's because that wounded inner child just acts out at that point in time. So connecting with our inner child is so important. It's only when we see really what's happening within us, when we work on that energetic element that I mentioned before, that we are all energy beings, and we are carrying it already within. It's only when we take our awareness so subtle that we can become aware of it, then we can really be with our child in the way that we would really like to be, with awareness and love.